into the iris.
Suiting up. Routing tower. Forward shield. Nerf this.
Огонь по готовности!
Nerf this.
Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the Watchpoint Post-Show live from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles. I'm your host, Malik Forte, joined as always by Zoe, Brent, and Sideshow. Guys, you know how we do it. You know what we do every day. I'd like to know what you guys learned throughout the day. So, Zoe, we'll start with you. What did you learn today?
Yeah, what did I learn? You know, if you bet for London, they lose. If you bet for Fusion, they lose. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
So you're saying the caster
depressed
curse
now.
exists, is what you're saying, basically.
My curse definitely exists. Like, it's still so hard for me to actually really decide where either of those two teams are standing. So, you know, it has yet to be seen. Thanks, Fusion. You're welcome for my vote of confidence.
I
It's not
learned-
going to happen again.
Wow. Oh, come on.
I learned
Harsh.
personally that Nota's got a bit of flexibility in him, that he can play some other roles other than just a diva. He had a pretty reasonable hands on him.
That was a shock.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It came
like
out-
all
came out
3
nowhere, really.
minutes
Played
were-
Orisa as well. I mean, he's just kind of flexing all over the shop. And
It was a minute and a half, actually. 1 minute and 36 seconds
excuse
of
me.
Hanzo.
Still unexpected.
I learned that Dallas have made good use of the time that they've had off as well. That we haven't seen them yet until stage 2, and they actually came out looking like one of the stronger teams that we've seen so far. Came out kind of dismantled the Toronto Defiant, looked good, as you said, made good use of Note from the trade as well. So positive stuff from the Dallas Fuel.
If you're looking like a problem, they're looking like a serious one. All right, so the Guangzhou Charge, we're trying to put an end to a 19 straight map loss streak when they took the stage today against the Los Angeles Gladiators. And unfortunately, after losing the first 2 maps, that streak extended to 21. Simply put, the Gladiators are looking all powered up in stage 2, which meant for the Charge, staving off that 23-match losing streak was far from grasping.
Honestly, it's a little bit disappointing though. They just played. You remember when they took to the stage for the first time? In their first few matches, we were just like, hold on, like hit the brakes, don't charge in, don't be so aggressive. I wish that aggressive charge were back here because right now they're doing the exact opposite. They're just very, very weird in their approach. They're like kind of passive.
They're scared, I
They're
think,
scared.
is really...
Yeah.
They get in their own heads and they start to get nervous, I think, a little bit. And Monty and Doa were talking about this during the cast as well. There are opportunities where they should be going aggressive with a grab or something like that, and instead they just back off and back themselves into a corner and end up losing.
the most evident example of that scared playstyle, or I guess the indecisiveness, as the series progressed, it got progressively less and less close between the two teams.
And that keeps happening with the Charge as well. And I think it comes down to mentality and that confidence that they've now has just been shattered after such an enormous losing streak with such young players. I think at some point, you know, it's on the coaches to get them back into it and stop focusing on the game so much, start focusing on the mentality. I mean, it's blatantly obvious for the coaches as well. I'm sure they are doing that kind of stuff, but it's so important to get their mentality back on track for this team.
Right. Well, it's no secret that the Charge, they have some kinks to work out, but how do you guys feel about the Gladiators? They just look much more dominant than they did before, right?
Pretty good, yeah. I think we're still at a point where I'm pretty hot on the Gladiators, honestly. I've always thought that they've got the pieces now. They're starting to work towards building a very good roster. In fact, they've got these guys. I mean, Decay, absolute nutty player, really, isn't he? And like, I think one of the core focuses of a lot of teams when you're playing triple tank, triple support is having a very strong Zarya player. I mean, it's almost a necessary element that you need to have these days. So Gladiators well on their way to becoming a top team so far.
Right. They just seem so much more well prepared. And by having 1 week off, the Dallas Fuel had more time to prepare and practice before stage 2 than almost any other top team. In their first match of the stage today, they showed off everything they've been working on. And it was pretty good. It looks like the time off to prepare with Node is paying dividends for the Fuel. This team looks even stronger with their new off-tank in the lineup. Unfortunately for the Defiant, they had to be the first test case for this new-look Fuel squad.
I was pleasantly surprised with the Dallas Fuel with what they came out with. I think that this is a squad that I mean, you've got to attribute it to the players, but also the coaching staff. Aero has come in and he's done a bang-up job of utilizing the pieces that he's got here to try and make it work. Dallas looking like definitely, I think, at minimum, a mid-table team, if not higher. They've got the potential to definitely go higher.
Absolutely. You know, I was super happy to see so much depth from that roster, because this is something they have kind of been lacking. I think we've called them one-dimensional more than once in Season 1, and now they really seem to like come up with a bit more creativity, really using the players and the pieces they're having to the best of their potential and their ability. So I very much hope that they continue in this trajectory. Right now, they do look like a serious contester for anywhere in the mid-table.
Yeah, I actually think that they could be on the same kind of level as teams like Gladiators, be up there. Honestly, we only have a tiny sample size at the moment, but it seems like they could be one of the better teams underneath that top 3 that we have. Need to see a little bit more of them. Toronto Defiant looked a little shaky themselves, and weirdly swapping over I'm37 and Ivy's roles, as well as subbing in Aid instead of Roki a couple of times. Looks like the Defiant are still experimenting with the best way to run this roster now that Stellar is out and they've got I'm37 in there.
Right, I was just getting ready to ask, why do you think that was? Why did they make that adjustment?
I would imagine, without any kind of inside knowledge, that it's to do with what I'm37 is the most comfortable on. You know, he is a player that's gone very quickly from playing ranked and this kind of stuff into being on the Overwatch League. And so finding the right mesh for him is quite important to fit in the Toronto Defiant and finding the best look for them.
I think Wolf was speculating during the cast. It might be that IM37 has actually been playing Zarya, maybe when he played ranked or something.
Sure.
We haven't really seen too much here. They did
It's
play
a very different experience.
Yeah, it's a different experience with him on it, but as you said, they probably want to enable him to go for those big plays and make opportunities for him there.
Yeah, I'm37 is going to be happy to be out of Brigitte prison either way. he did get an opportunity to play McCree and look really good there.
Oh yeah, he looked great. And maybe it has something to do with him being bilingual too. You know, he could be kind of a liaison for the people who don't speak Korean and English. He can
I should hope they all speak Korean.
They probably should do, shouldn't they? But he could be a liaison for the Toronto fans, I suppose.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's true. Now I think about it, it makes no sense. All right,
Mixing them up with the other teams.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
For sure. Well, guys, when we get back, the Vancouver Titans look to keep their undefeated ways. Don't go anywhere. This is the Watchpoint Post Show coming up soon.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Compositions, you need to be playing the cheese.
in theory, on paper, I do think that the Houston Outlaws should look very good in this patch.
And especially against the Vancouver Titans, you do not want to be playing triple tank, triple support against this team. You need to be playing the damage dealing compositions. You need to be playing the cheese compositions.
Well, you heard it there from Brent and Zoe. Don't run a 3-3 comp against the Titans. We didn't see that comp from the Outlaws on Busan, and it seemed to take the Titans a bit by surprise. All Twitter kerfluffles aside, the Outlaws actually looked more comfortable than they have thus far on GOATS. But will it be enough to overcome the Titans? That seems to be the main discussion that everyone's having today.
I mean, it really is, and I think you can make an argument for both sides. Of course, maps always play a big part in what team compositions you can run or not run. But I think the discussion has basically been that you want to take the risk or not. Like, can you out-GOATS the Titan? If nothing else works against them, maybe you want to be more creative. And I certainly do think that on Paris, at least for A, as well as Eichenwalde, there is space for at least GOATS variations. I do think that if they would have stuck to the Sombra on Eichenwalde, for example, going into B, I don't think that would have done them any harm, at least.
Yeah, I think to play devil's advocate for the argument of, you know, it seems to be the general consensus here that why are they playing GOATS against the Titans? That's what the general fan consensus has been coming out of.
Right.
And I tend to fall on, you know, on the side of Zoe, and we were saying at the half as well. But they're right, they did get unfortunate with the map pool here. Eichenwalde attacking point B is very difficult for a composition that isn't triple tank, triple support. Right. But you certainly could try and run the Sombra in that situation. But the Titans are super good, right? There's no denying that. You are probably going to lose to them even if you play DPS compositions. But the crux of it comes down to, do you want to take the risk and go for something that's like more variable and you could maybe clutch out a win by playing a Sombra GOATS and having the EMP to be able to push with? Or do you feel confident enough in your GOATS to be able to go head-to-head with them?
Right, my argument would be, from all of the footage we've seen of the Titans, the closest games have always been wacky stuff being thrown at them and them struggling to try and tackle.
Sure, Chengdu,
charge.
Yeah.
Two case in point examples of it. The games going to map 5 is because they were running these wacky comps. Now, that doesn't mean you completely neglect you know, the triple tank, triple support comps.
Right.
Instead, I think it comes back to your point, Josh. You know, you run a little bit of the Sombra variation in it. You try
That
and
was
take
my
it like
point,
that.
Brent. Thank you.
Also, Zoe, yes, sorry, apologies. But it's, yeah, I think Houston Outlaws, they should know that they're not the most fantastic team in the world when it comes to running that triple tank, triple support compositions. Yes, you can't run DPS compositions every single map because, again, like you said, they got unlucky with the map pools. Rialto, Eichenwalde, nightmares to try and
now,
kind of
to be
run
fair,
those
though, they
comps.
could have run something different on Paris. We have seen other teams run more DPS variants.
But the
stuff
problem
on
there
Paris
is that
attack.
it's for A, it's great, yeah, but then usually you'd have to switch to probably back to 3-3 for point B, and then you lose every ult you have.
Yes,
and
but you know, it's every little matters when you're a team that's so far down the table compared to the Vancouver Titans. But here's another point as well, which I don't think has really been discussed, is that yes, they had a month to be able to prep for the Titans, but do you really want to spend that entire month prepping kind of cheese compositions to try and beat the Titans? Or do you want to prep kind of your basics so that when you play the other teams, which you have a higher chance of beating, you're more prepared? So I think there's a lot that went into this match and the decision-making in it, but I think it's very interesting as well because it really does get into like the inner workings of a team. Kind of what would the correct choice be there?
We will never know, that's the thing. We would never know. Maybe if they would have run any DPS heavy comms or a Sombra variation, maybe they would have won. We will never know.
Maybe they would have got plowed harder.
Or maybe they would have lost harder,
I think for many people, it's just kind of difficult to watch that first map in Busan and seeing them pretty much be so dominant against the Vancouver Titans, playing like this crazy comp. And then to just go back to, you know, to deferring to it. That's what people don't understand.
That's the other thing as well, is that I'm sure they tried a bunch of weird stuff in scrims.
Right.
They're not dumb. Like, they know that they should run some cheesy stuff. But if you try a bunch of weird compositions in scrims on, like, Eichenwalde, Rialto, and they all fail when you're scrimming against, like, I don't know, Paris or something, well, of course the Titans are going to smash you.
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
I will say as well, I made a hot take earlier about Outlaws not winning a game in Stage 2. I think they didn't look atrocious like a lot of teams
they
do.
look great.
Outlaws are looking like a mid-table team right now, and you know, there's room for improvement, obviously.
Yes. Now, having said that, the Outlaws fans shouldn't be too happy about what happened because on the first map they did do well.
Right.
On the others, their offenses were all halted at either point A or halfway through point B. So it was okay.
I will say my biggest takeaway from that match is I'm excited to see what more the Outlaws can do as we move forward here because they did look strong against this Titan team. This looked pretty much unscathed thus far, but Round 2 of our inaugural season grand finals rematch kicked off the action in the arena today with the London Spitfire looking to avenge an early stage 1 loss to the Fusion. Both of these teams are interconnected in many ways. The main one right now being that they're two teams looking for the respect they earned in 2018. London looked a little closer to their old selves than the Fusion did today.
Yeah, this was an interesting game because it was so back and forth, and I feel like both teams actually played reasonably well at different points throughout the series. I don't think either team really collapsed, and I don't think either team was playing horribly. They did make a number of mistakes, and they don't look like they're championship-winning caliber. They certainly don't look like they're, going to be contesting the Vancouver Titans, the NYXLs, that kind of stuff. But they're starting together, I think. We're seeing a bit of promise.
Yeah, in particular, this map here is one where I was kind of just watching it happen, and I did a telestration opening up about how London recognized a fault of Philadelphia. They jumped on it, and one thing I noticed as well when I built the package and I finished it up, wrapped it up, not me personally, I do have help with these kind of things, but it was that London Spitfire or Philadelphia were making adaptations, and they were fixing up those mistakes later into the map itself. So both of these teams making the adjustments necessary to try and make it a close series between them, whereas normally sometimes Philadelphia we make mention constantly about this being an emotional team, and sometimes when they get in their own heads a little bit, they can just go on this downward spiral as the series progresses.
With 5 minutes on the clock, though, they really should have taken one tick on point A and one Hanamura. That was kind of a little unforgivable.
That was strange. Definitely strange. A strange point there. I gotta know, are you guys at the point now where you're ready to give a little bit of respect to the Philadelphia Fusion? Because I know it's been a while where that has not been happening, and you guys have kind of been very critical of them. Are we ready to give them their flowers yet?
I think they're starting to get back into it, for sure. I think the Philadelphia Fusion are starting to understand the meta a bit more, be able to make those on-the-fly adaptations, support Sado when he's going in. Unfortunately, they had a game plan that failed completely on Rialto, I think. And they ended up getting in their own heads and just kind of getting rolled a bit on the offense. But they tightened it up a little towards the end and still made it winnable for themselves. So it's not horrific from the Philadelphia Fusion, and I think we're starting to see them get back.
One of the main things I look for in a lot of teams as well in terms of how I look at their success is actually how big I rate their coaching staff and their support staff that's behind them. Philly's a team where I do, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I do respect Christopher as a coach, respect Hayes as well. These guys, they do know what they're talking about. Same goes for London as well. 815 has been, I think, a good addition for this team. London are looking stronger in that regard than they did, I think, early on last season. So both of these teams looking like they're on a upwards trajectory, which is nice to see, because I think the more top teams we have coming later into the season, the better.
All right, so you guys are ready to give them some respect. But after the loss today, the Fusion now have a record of 7-4 overall on the season. They sit in 4th place behind NYXL, Vancouver, and the San Francisco Shock. So, Zoe, do you consider them the number 4 team in the league now?
Who else
is going to go there?
Number 4, maybe not necessarily right now, because they do still have a lot of stuff where I feel like they need to clean it up a little bit. But as Bren already said, as Josh already said, they are making the adaptations, and I don't think that they looked terrible, honestly. It's always a bit weird looking at their matches against London, because for some reason, it doesn't matter if either of those teams is looking really bad at the moment or really good at the moment. It always ends up being a close game between those two specifically. So yeah, who knows how they will look like against another team. I definitely think they are high on the tables. I don't think it's 4 right now, but I know that they can be number 4 for sure, because they have so much individual talent. They have a great lineup, and as they already said, they have a great coaching staff as well.
All right, number 4 in the standings, and slowly and surely making their way up in our analysts' respect standings. They're getting there. They're getting there. Well, guys, the post show rolls on when we get back with a very exciting guest. I am 37 from the Toronto Defiant joins us, so keep it locked. You're not going to want to miss it.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
welcome back to the Watchpoint Post Show. Our next guest has been absolutely speed running the path to pro and made his way from the Open Division to the Overwatch League in 21 days. Nuts. Rumor has it, he might be coming for Nate Nancer's job pretty soon. So I'd like to give a warm welcome to IM37. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hello, good. How are you?
It's working. It's working.
It's working. Yeah, we
Okay.
hear you. Don't
How's it
worry.
feel to have your own mic right now? This is your mic.
It feels really good.
Awesome. Now, I got to know about, let's talk about that because I want you to clarify for everybody watching.
Okay.
Was it intentional or was it an accident what happened there with Danny?
It was 100% accident.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it to do it. But so, yeah.
Okay.
Is that in regards to grabbing his mic
Grabbing
or
the mic?
pretending to
Yeah.
not speak English?
No, he asked me, like, if you speak English. I said yes. But he actually asked, like, if I am able to,
Do it in Korean anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well done.
Your English is really good,
Sounds like an airtight alibi to me.
pretty much. How long have you been speaking English?
4 years.
4 years. Wow, that's actually really good for 4 years. And how did that come about? Like, what made you want to learn? Or
My brother was actually in Canada
Okay.
before, so he suggested me to come to Canada, and I just got there and learned English from school.
and that's what brought you to Canada, your brother?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
All right. Well, Malik said already in the intro, you were kind of speed running your way into the Overwatch League. I think you hold the record from Open Division into OWL with 21 days.
Yeah.
Was this a happy accident, or was there any pre-thought or pre-plan coming into this? Like, yeah, I want to become a pro player in the Overwatch League, or did that just kind of happen?
That just kind of happened. I did not plan to make it to OWL, but I just joined an OD team for fun, to have some fun, but yeah, it just happened.
For fun? Oh my goodness.
I wish anything I want to just do for fun will get me into a pro league. So how did it come about? How did you get noticed? I know you were streaming before.
Yep.
Just
I used to stream a lot, but I get the recognition from XQC and some streamers. Yep.
All right.
So I understand that it was only about a 24-hour period from you signing with the Toronto Defiant to then getting on the plane, arriving here,
Yep.
and then playing your first match on stage. Well, that must have been mental. I mean, what was that like to experience all of that just within one day?
For me, everything felt surreal because everything actually happened so fast. Myself, didn't even know what's going on. They just put me on stage and just play. Okay, so I'm just a player for them. So just play the game.
A lot of people, I think, would imagine that players that don't have that much experience would feel more nervous than other people or feel the pressure a bit more. What were you like when you were first on stage? Did you feel it, or were you just kind of happy to be up there? What was going through your mind when you were first playing that match?
I was nervous and I was also happy to be up there at the same time. But I definitely have things to work on as a team player. Yep.
So I have questions scripted here, but I'm actually going to go off the script for a second.
Okay.
Because I just thought of a question, and it's regarding your mouse that you use. I know you were having issues with the weight of the mouse in terms of like the batteries, and I think I saw. Did you like dismantle half of your mouse to use on the stage?
I used to use AAA batteries.
Okay.
But they were not allowed to do it, so I had to get the converter.
Oh, I
And, yeah.
see. I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was using AAA with the aluminum foil. So yeah.
Slightly lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Back on script. You played. I just wanted to notice because I saw it on Twitter. So it just came to my mind. You played a couple of heroes so far. You played Tracer, Bastion, Widowmaker, Soldier 76, Brigitte, Zarya, Sombra. Is there any hero that you want to play on the main stage that you haven't got the chance to yet?
I would like to play some Hog.
Nice.
Bloodhog, because Hog is a strong character against 4 DPS or triple DPS composition.
Okay.
Yeah, Hog or maybe Mercy.
Really?
Yeah, because
Literally never heard a player say that. That's gonna be a first.
people say I'm a Hiskin player, so I'm gonna be bad at like healers. But my Mercy is kind of Not
Sick.
bad. Not
Kinda
bad.
nice.
Kinda
Kind of good.
I want to see this mercy, yo.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so we heard your name comes from McCree's age being 37. Is that true?
Yep, that's true.
Okay, what made you pick McCree?
Because when I first started playing Overwatch, I played McCree a lot. Like, a lot only. Like, it was like McCree one trick. So, yeah, I wanted to be McCree.
Okay.
Myself, yeah.
All right, so this is kind of your spirit character.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, so for our rapid fire today, we figured we would test your knowledge of the other heroes' ages, since you knew McCree's age. So try to answer as quickly as you can. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right, first one. Who is the oldest hero in Overwatch?
Reinhardt?
Got it. That's right.
Nailed it.
That's right.
61 years old. There you go.
Who's the youngest hero in Overwatch?
Diva?
Nope.
Nope.
That's not.
It's Orisa.
That's
1
a-
month old.
That's a bit of a trick question.
It is.
It
a good
is.
question.
It is. She's a real power.
Okay.
Who is the only hero in their 50s?
Soldier?
No, it's actually Torbjorn.
Torbjorn.
57 years old. Okay, which two heroes have no known age?
I have no idea.
I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
Damage. DPS.
Wow, that's a
That's
great
a
name.
terrible clue.
It's a third of the cast. Okay.
It's Reaper and Soldier 76, which I never would have known. But
True
there you
talk,
go.
true talk.
Nobody knows their age. They're
All right.
mysteries.
Here we go. Which two heroes are still teenagers?
Teenagers. Diva.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one.
You'll never.
You never guessed that
It's
one.
so hard.
This one is.
We can keep this rolling, or
See what he did there?
It's a tank hero.
Come on, bring it in.
He's in a ball.
I said you'd never get it. You'd never get it. It's a hamster, man. You
These
can't
questions are a
you can't
minefield.
have a
Dang it.
teenage hamster.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
Hammond.
Nonsense.
That's
There
not
we go.
even
He
that
got it.
forward. That's
got
like
it.
way before teenage.
Your turn, sorry.
All right, so Junkrat, over or under 37?
Under.
Yep.
Ooh,
Correct.
good one.
25.
35.
All right, Ash, over or under 39 years? Oh, wait, I've just told you the answer. Oh, no.
Over.
Good job, Raven.
Good job, man.
Goodness
Over.
me.
Jeez.
All right. How about this one? Genji, over or under 37 years old?
I think is 36 or under.
He's 35, so yeah.
Good job.
Bang on the
Good
money.
job. All
All
right.
right, you're pretty good at guessing ages. How old am I?
Ooh. Oh, be careful with that one, bro. Be careful.
26?
Oh, favorite player.
I would have gone for like 4.
Good
30.
answer.
Thank you very
Good
much.
answer. That's how you do it, man.
Repeat that.
Nobody
Always
Repeat
go
that
for
again.
it.
Nobody heard anything.
You
What
said
did you
40?
say? How old do you
No.
think Zoe is?
40?
Whoa.
Well,
Because I'm wise.
well,
beyond my
Sideshow won't be
years.
here tomorrow, guys.
He's gone.
Yo, thank you so much, I Am 37, for joining us at the desk today. And don't forget, you can check out his Q&A live on Twitch right after the show, as long as you've got the Overwatch League All Access Pass. So go get it if you don't have it already. And coming up, we have our over-the-top moments of the day right here on Watchpoint. Don't go anywhere. The post show will roll on in just a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
welcome back to the Watchpoint Post Show. Let's get into the most over-the-top moments of the day, starting off with one of your favorite duos, Prophet and Fury, going crazy with this ult combo against the Fusion. Look just like the finals all over again.
It really did, but it's not just this very moment. Those two players have been such standouts in this series for me personally. Fury generally, ever since he came back on the stage, his diva has actually been super impressive.
Yeah.
OGE is up next with his fatty, shatty, sextuple kill. Those words should not go together. But this was awesome.
It really was.
This is the 17th sextuple kill in the league, believe it or not.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Brent is personally keeping track of them at home.
Call me Captain Planet. Okay.
Maybe we should just call them
fantastic.
pink kills.
I'm really impressed with OG.
Moving on, we got another insane bumper shatter on Eichenwald against the Houston Outlaws. This was more bumper being bumper.
Unbelievable. I mean, Bumper just manhandled them this game. It was so fun to watch because the guy is just explosive. And he builds up the Earth Shatter so quickly, and if you try and punish him, the rest of his team peels for him, and they kill you,
Straight
they
after
bait
this.
you in. It's nuts.
He built another shatter almost instantly.
Yeah.
Coming up next, Shaz showing how much of a marksman he is with this sleek dart all the way across the map on Happy.
It was a headshot too.
Yeah.
It was actually a headshot sleep dart.
Does extra damage if you hit him in the mouth.
2 damage.
Look
Yeah,
at this.
look at it. That's definitely a headshot.
Good night, Happy. Have a good nap there. So lovely. Shaz is a monster.
I'm not too impressed. He should have hit at the follow-up grenade.
We can watch this 3 more
Okay.
times. I'm totally cool with that. Up next, last but not least, Note making his debut with the Dallas Fuel. And what better way to do it than with another crazy self-destruct?
What
Yeah.
a phenomenal player, really, Note, isn't he? Like, I think in terms of the Western off-tank players, he is up there.
Yeah.
In my eyes, I think he might be #1 at this point.
Really?
He's now gunning for Hanzo #1 in the league too, so watch out.
Who would you put over him?
All
I
right.
don't know, maybe Poco, Space, Nevik.
Hey guys, we got to move on. Bryn, why don't you take the Twitch leaderboard this time? Because I heard.
Okay, all right. We got Vancouver Titans almost at 1.5 mil. Catching up to Soul Dynasty. Jazz hands in the building.
I need more sultry from your voice with this music playing.
We got Dallas Fuel with 1.6 million bits currently being cheered, and the Atlanta Rain still sitting at #1 with 3.6 billion. Let's go to our Twitch leaders that we've got.
He's going to stop speaking English.
You're just gonna stop speaking.
Stop speaking English.
Nitro Man 65, he's almost on 14K. I don't believe it. You got the future poker star at #8 as well, 16.
We've got someone new at #1 for the
Do
first
we?
time. Is that the first time ever?
The Tom I've already called out for Pin Upon multiple times. Last week, yesterday.
All right, good job, Brand.
There you go.
But we're gonna let you get that one off for today. But let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule. Kicking things off, we have the Dallas Fuel taking on the Paris Eternal. Atlanta and Washington both looking for their first win of the stage. New York will try to stay undefeated against Florida. And we round off the day with our match of the week, the battle for Los Angeles, the Valiant and the Gladiators. This arena is going to be through the roof. But Zoe, what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
I think I'm going to pick the first one here. Paris going up against Dallas. I think that's going to be an interesting one. I had to make a guess, and that had to be a guess because I haven't seen Dallas play so far in this stage. So I had to pick a favorite to win this one earlier this week before I saw Dallas play. And you know what? I'm going to be flip-flopping tomorrow. I actually think Dallas should have this one in the bag. So yeah, let's see if that's going to happen. Definitely interested to see.
Shameless flip-flop. Totally shameless.
For me, and I'm not taking a mickey here, genuinely, I think the last match of the day is what I'm going to be most excited for. You know, you get the LA crowds coming in here, starting to cheer on the 2 opposing sides. It's always a good time when it's the battle for LA. And I think Valiant, they've got over that hurdle of getting that first initial win. They're going to be, you know, in a good mindset. They should be at least coming into this next match. Still think Gladiators were going to win, but, you know.
Yeah.
But it is our match of the week.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
an
gonna be a
awesome
good match.
opportunity as well, though, for Gladiators to be able to get revenge, because it was Valiant all last season that were doing really well. And it makes me so excited for the future of the Overwatch League, because we'll get more matches like this where you have the home crowd in here, and you have that kind of energy. And at the moment, you can only see it for the Battle of LA.
Give away all of our talking points for tomorrow.
Oh, well, there you go. Don't even bother tuning in.
There you go.
So I'm guessing you're looking forward to the Battle of LA 2 sideshow.
Yes, definitely. I think that's going to be an amazing game. The crowd in here always just goes mental, and both teams step up to the plate every time.
I'm with you guys. I'm in sync with you guys with the battle for LA tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. So, guys, that's going to do it for us on Watchpoint. We'll be back tomorrow with the pre-show at 11:30 Pacific. But until then, have a good night, everybody.